In this video, we're going to learn about nouns in preparation for learning Latin and how Latin nouns work. So we just want to do a little English peek at nouns to help us make the connection between Latin and English. So first of all, we're just going to start with what is a noun? We know that a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. So most people can think of a noun if you just take a minute to think of maybe a noun or two. And then think about how it can be singular or plural. So you can usually just add an S to the end, although there are other cases. You can add an ES, or sometimes there are ways that we change the noun to add the S. But in general, we know that we can have singular a goose, or plural some geese, or a boy and boys. So also think about how in our cases, in English it doesn't really pan out as well, but nouns can be male, female, or neutral. And in Latin this is a much, much bigger deal. In English we don't really seem to think about the gender of a noun, but some people do refer to their cars or other things as female, old girl, or, so that concept is kind of valid. And the other thing is that changes in noun ending changes use. That might not be fully clear. I mean, we did speak a little bit about the singular or plural, but also that we can kind of change the noun to mean different things by just changing the ending or doing some little things. So doing some changes to it, and we'll look at that in a moment. So if we just want to group some nouns, we have dog. That's singular. We know that girl is singular. Slaves with an S, that's plural. Now, farmers with apostrophe S, is that singular or plural? Right, so that's going to go into the singular because the apostrophe is before the S. Dogs, that's plural. Forests, plural because it ends with an S. Water. And now we have girls with the apostrophe at the end, so that makes it a plural noun. And if we just look at a sentence here, the dog is in the road. And when we look at this sentence, and we focus kind of maybe on the dog in this sentence is a subject. And if we look at this sentence, getting a little overexcited with our pen. The dog's ball is red. Then we want to know that the dog's ball, the subject is actually the ball. So we could write it, the ball is red. This is the subject. And this is indicating whose ball it is, so it's indicating possession. So we've changed the use of the noun dog by adding an apostrophe and an S. In Latin, when we change a noun, it's called a declension. So the change in form of a noun. And let's see if we can get that last little pull bar out. I snuck it on myself. Alright, so change in form of a noun. And what we have here are some really big terms. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative, and vocative. And they refer to the different ways we can change our noun. So these are kind of the ways to explain these big terms. So nominative means subject, and it would be, for example, dog. Genitive means possession, so again, we just looked at that. That would be dog with apostrophe S. Dative is the indirect object. So the dog is not directly getting the action, but maybe it's to or for the dog. Direct object is the accusative form, and again, that's just dog. The boy gave the stick to the dog. Object of a preposition is the ablative, so we usually think of that or with by or with the dog. So the boy went to the river with the dog. That would be the ablative form. And direct address is, oh dog, as if you were calling the dog. So if we just look at this sentence and we want to indicate the girl is in the kitchen, we know that the girl is the subject, and we are in the nominative form. Mother gives a coin to the girl. So to the girl, we would call that, remember the to or for, that's the indirect object. And I believe that's the accusative. The girl's dog is fast. So the girl, in this sense, is possessive. So that makes her the dative. The children play with the girl. Here the girl is the object of a preposition. Father calls the girl. So she is the direct object. Father is directly calling her. And the last one, I'm just going to scooch it out here, is oh girl as an exclamation. So those are the different ways we can look at the example. Now here we have this kind of looks like a big cross, but in Latin, when we want to decline something, I'm just going to add some little pieces in here, maybe make this a little bit wider. This means singular and plural. And then we would go through and label like this the different options, and then we would decline a word, so we would put the different translations, or sometimes we just do the endings. So today, just as a little preview, I'm going to show you the endings. Let's get a nice red. And you're going to think, oh, this doesn't make any sense. But later on it will. I just want you to be familiar with this kind of concept. So A, A-E, A-E, A-M, long A, A, A-E, A-R-U-M, I-S, A-S, I-S, A-E. So these are just noun endings, like the apostrophe S, different endings that we can add to particular nouns to change their form, to decline them. So we'll look at how these weird noun endings work later on in class.